Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review. Slaughterhouse. This is our house. But you don't eat animals. That's just the name of the group. It's not, nothing died to make this album. But it's a slaughterhouse. They kill chickens there. You don't know, that's fine. You know, you have it your way. You have it your way. These guys are kind of a hip-hop supergroup featuring Joell Ortiz, Crooked I, Joe Budden, and Royce da 5'9". This is their new LP on Shady Records. And the image that these guys push forward, that they're marketed with, is that they're really sharp lyricists. They are hardcore hip-hop lyricists. And individually, I feel like each of them have kind of proven that, especially Royce da 5'9", who's had his share of solo successes. And I know a lot of people were really impressed with what Shady 2.0 had to offer during the BET cypher. And I was pretty excited going into this LP, wondering what Slaughterhouse had to offer at this point in their career, considering that one of the last pieces of music I heard from them collectively was on the back end of that Bad Meets Evil EP that Royce da 5'9" and Eminem put together, and that track is just straight lyrical fire. But I gotta say, as a group together on this new LP, each of these guys really just kind of cancel each other out. You do not get one lick of that competitive edge, that chemistry, because you don't really get an intense sense that these guys are really working together, tag teaming these instrumentals and song concepts, building on one another's lyrics, trying to top one another. You just track after track after track kind of hear these guys apathetically trade verses as if, you know, oh, my time's done, whatever, which is really disappointing because that's just the opposite direction that these guys should have gone in from their full-length debut, which would have been great if there was just a bit more fire between these guys, just some kind of spark. I feel like Welcome to Our House just kind of confirms that together Slaughterhouse doesn't really do anything that they couldn't do individually, especially with Shady Records in the picture. Even the verses on the most aggressive track here, Coffin, are pretty subdued lyrically and flow-wise as well, just vocal delivery-wise. Busta Rhymes, who's featured on the hook on this track, sounds 10 times more hyped than anybody else on this track. And when Crooked I drops that line about the most beautiful thing in this world are the funerals I bring into this world, just not good. Ugh. So just one kind of big negative about this album right off the bat is that the aggressive, hard as nails tracks are just not really that aggressive or hard as nails. To make matters worse, there are just a load of commercial, flowery, overly melodic hooks on the other tracks that aren't trying to be hard at all. And I can't help but feel like these hooks wouldn't have been there if Shady Records wasn't in the picture, especially considering that a lot of the hooks on this thing sound like they could have been on Eminem's Recovery or the album before that. It's really fitting that B.O.B. is actually on one of the bonus tracks from this LP, because Slaughterhouse is really going down that direction, because the instrumentals and the choruses on this thing do get that sugary sometimes. The only thing that really kind of is majorly setting B.O.B. apart from Slaughterhouse right now is that B.O.B. is actually catchy. You may ask, Anthony, why do you care so much about the choruses and the instrumentals on a Slaughterhouse album? I don't listen to Slaughterhouse for the choruses and the instrumentals. Well, the thing is, neither do I. I don't want to listen to Slaughterhouse for those things either. That's why I question their existence. If flowery choruses and instrumentals aren't important to Slaughterhouse's music, then why are they there? And for those of you at this point who may still think that Slaughterhouse is a group of very cunning lyricists, I mean, have you heard some of the tracks on this LP? A lot of them topically and lyrically are crummy. Like the Frat House track where Joel, Crooked I, Royce da 5'9", Joe, they're all rapping about keg stands and one line about how her pussy is as hot as a chili pepper and she wants to give it away, and girls on the floor like it's a crack house on the hook. It's just a ridiculous song. It's more ridiculous than Summer on Smash on Nas's new album. How old are these guys? Should they really be rapping about this? And on the track Park It Sideways, like, Man, the hooks on some of these tracks are so lavender, they're exactly like the choruses on that last Lupe album. I mean, how are they really any different? Especially on that My Life track with cee-lo on the hook. Like, what were they thinking on that hook? Like, if we get cee-lo to say fuck on it, we'll have another hit or something? And what's up with that Rescue Me track too, where they're all rapping about like being disturbed or, you know, psychotic or just like having mental issues or whatever? There's not one single moment where Slaughterhouse really gets together and tells a story that actually suspends my belief and makes me just get into what they're saying. And whether or not you're impressed by Slaughterhouse's vocabulary, that is the ultimate goal, the suspension of belief. Putting somebody in a place that you're trying to detail for them, in their empty brags or just their really just awkward topical tracks. It just never, ever happens. I feel like the only sane person on this entire album is Swizz Beatz. On the track Throw It Away, at least he had the common sense to sample ESG, the only somewhat traditional hip-hop thing that this album does, despite all the references to real hip-hop and lyricists toward the beginning of this LP. Should I be surprised? Signing to Shady Records ruined Yellow Wolf's new LP too. I mean, of course it was going to happen to this, but what are you going to do? Honestly, I am feeling a strong 3 to a light 4 on this thing. I really can't say I liked it any more than that. What did you guys think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Anthony Fantano, Slaughterhouse, forever.